Looking for the best Micro-ATX case to suit your needs? In this video, we're diving into some of the top options available right now. Before we begin, don't forget to check out the links in the description to find the best deals within your budget. Let's get Number 4. Thermaltake Versa H7. Next, now smaller cases can sometimes be a pain to cool, especially if you're trying to keep costs down, but not with the Versa H17, which is also quite affordable, but that's not the only reason we're recommending it. After all, this case is sleek, quiet, and really understated. Whether you're planning on using air cooling or liquid cooling, it's pretty much a workhorse that doesn't need to shout about how good it is, it just gets the job done. It comes with a 120mm fan pre-installed in the rear, and you have the option to install 3 120mm fans or 2 140mm fans in the front, and if you really want to maximize the air flow, you can also throw in a 120mm or 140mm fan at the top. And for you liquid cooling lovers, it supports a 280mm radiator in the front and a 120mm in the rear. Now, drive cages can sometimes be annoying when you're trying to route your cables and get a clean build. That's why the Versa H17 uses hidden drive bays that stay out of the way but still allow for two 2.5 in and two 3.5 in drives at the same time. That's pretty handy. And the ports on the front panel are nicely placed at the top with USB 3.0, USB 2.0 and separate microphone and headset jacks. Besides, like some pricier models out there, the Thermaltake Versa H17 can fit both Micro-ATX and Mini-ATX motherboards, so you've got superb flexibility there. The only real downside is that it doesn't have a Type-C port, but that aside, if you're a fan of simple yet effective design and want a solid underrated case that can handle a good amount of cooling, the Thermaltake Versa H17 is definitely worth a look. Moving right along to Number 3. lancool 205mm Mesh. You know, I just couldn't make a list of PC cases without a Li showing up somewhere, and this one I have here is the younger sibling of the lancool 205C, which is the ATX mid version. Now, the 205C does have a few advantages, but the Micro-ATX version, the 205mm Mesh, holds its own, and it does that for one main reason: RGB. Yes, this is our obligatory RGB entry on the list. Some might love it, some might hate it, but you've got to admit this case looks slick. You get two pre-installed 140mm ARB fans in the front, and there's room for 3 more 120mm fans if you want to go all out. But this case has more to offer than just looks. You've got plenty of space to fit just about any GPU you can find, up to 375mm, and it can handle ATX power supplies up to 180mm and CPU coolers up to 160mm. You can also mount a 240mm radiator either on the top or in the front of the case, and you get those extra SSD and HDD slots that we always appreciate, and it wouldn't be a mesh case if it didn't have a front mesh panel plus 2 dust filters. Now here we go again, we are hit by the lack of Type-C port epidemic once more, and you do miss out on the third pre-installed RGB fan that comes with the bigger 205C, but hey, we have the pretty lights to console us, so it's still safe to say that if you're after an Max case that looks really good, has a good amount of space, and has the trust of Li, then the lancool 205mm Mesh is surely a worthy choice. Number 2. Thermal Tower 300. Now, Thermaltake Tower series has always had a very distinct design. You either love it or you hate it, but the Tower 300 actually breaks the mold a bit. Instead of a traditional box shape, it's got this unique front panel cut that gives you a great panoramic view into the case. Here's the thing though, this design also allows the Tower 300 to be laid down effortlessly. How cool is that? Be sure though you'll need a good amount of space for that maneuver, but if that's not possible, you could also buy Thermaltake's chassis stand kit to try it out, and another extra you can buy is a small LCD monitor that can display your PC temps, act as a clock, or even show the weather, which is pretty neat. Now honestly, for a Micro-ATX case, the Thermaltake Tower 300 is big, I mean really big, so laying it down on its side will be a bit of a spatial challenge, but that big size has its benefits. For example, you can fit up to a 420mm radiator, and it can fit up to 6 140mm fans in addition to the 2 pre-installed ones, so it really prioritizes great air flow. You also get all the connections up front, including a Type-C connector. Yep, finally, and it's got pretty well thought out cutouts for managing the cable tangles with ease. But here's the catch, Thermal decided for some reason that you don't need immediate access to your motherboard's I/O panel, so they locked it inside the case. So you have to either open the front glass panel or the top of the case to reach it, which is honestly a bit baffling. The thing is, everything else about this case is so fun, cool and convenient that this one issue just sticks out. So if you don't mind the I/O panel situation and the slightly higher price tag, you're looking at something unique with a lot of cooling potential, and here it is, our number 1. Asus Prime AP21. PC cases usually don't get a lot of attention, but this one stands out, and for good reason. It has everything you need without any extra unnecessary features. It comes with toolless mesh panels on all 4 sides and supports up to 6 fans, so your PC will get plenty of airflow. The 33L size isn't huge, but it makes excellent use of space. You can fit GPUs up to 338mm, radiators up to 360mm, and standard ATX power supplies, giving you lots of room for building your system. Some extra features make this case even better. There's space for HDDs, a dedicated SSD slot, and multiple USB ports, including the Type-C connector we all want. There's also hidden space to help with cable management, making your build cleaner and easier. The design of the Asus Prime AP21 is simple and clean, with a nice mesh front panel. Some people might find it a little plain, but if you like a straightforward and effective design, you'll love it. If you want something fancier, there's an option for tempered glass side panels in black or white. The only small drawback is that it can collect dust easily.